Thanks for joining me. So today I wanted to show you several different ways you can use a yoga bolster to support you in your practice. It's really quite a versatile tool. I've never seen a yoga bolster available in a physical store, but I have seen them available online. And for about $40, you can get a really high quality, durable piece of equipment. And you're never going to buy more than one. It's never going to wear out. And they often come like this one does with a removable cloth sheath so that you can wash the exterior of it. So once you have gotten yourself a yoga bolster, you might also consider getting some yoga blocks. The first position that I wanted to show you requires 2 yoga blocks. And my yoga blocks are these 4-inch foam blocks. The 3-inch wood or cork or foam blocks work just fine. I just happen to have 4-inch blocks for myself. I have one of my blocks up here at the Papa Bear position. A few inches ahead of that, I have an additional block at this Mama Bear position. So you don't want it to be at Baby Bear where it's the thinnest or the shortest. You want to have it at the Mama Bear. So one at Papa in the back, one at Mama in the front, and then you rest the bolster on top of that. You should be able to push it and not have it go anywhere. Then you'll just sit with your small of the back at the base of the bolster and roll your way back. So it's just a supported recline. You can do anything you like with your feet. You can stick them straight out in front. You can bring the soles of the feet together and rest the knees out to the side if you need to. If you have tight hips, you can put some rolled up blankets under the knees if you need some support. This is a nice alternative to when you have some reflux and being in a full shavasana isn't comfortable, lying all the way back is unavailable to you. This is a handy little way to kind of get the best of both worlds. The more exaggerated variation of that is to take the blocks away and set the bolster back down flat to the floor. Here again, you would get the small of your back settled. If you know that you have some SI joint issues, some low back trouble, you probably want a few inches in between yourself and the bolster. And again, you'll just roll your spine back. So this helps to open up the chest, especially if you take the arms out wide in the shape of a T with the palms facing the ceiling. And here again, you can have the feet out, here, feet flat to the floor, knees pointed at the ceiling, whatever works for you. And if you feel that you are crunching in your back, you can just scoot away from the bolster until you have a sensation of length. It should feel like your hips are melting down away from your spine. You're looking more for traction and opening rather than compression or any kind of crunching. So you can adjust this however you need to. Another way to use the bolster is to give your body weight a place to go when you're rolling forward. So if touching your toes is not available, or if that's a little hard on your back, you can just bring the bolster around and set it on the top of your legs and then roll forward. And this prevents you from putting too much pressure on the spine. Your body weight kind of has a place to relax, so you're not hanging off of your spine, and it can feel really nice to have a place to rest the head if you feel like you need some support. You can alter that by taking a wider leg variation. You can either have the bolster out through center, or you can have the bolster out front. And again, this gives you a place to go instead of having to support your body weight on your hands. Another way to use the bolster that takes some pressure off the spine is to do a reclining twist. And I'll show you what this looks like. You get the bolster so that it touches the back of your right hip, and you have feet flat to the floor and knees pointed at the ceiling. Then you're going to drop your knees over to your right. Now you're facing right. You'll twist around, your right hand on the right side of the bolster, the left hand on the left side of the bolster. And then you'll bend the elbows, roll the torso down. And it's important to just relax the arms. You don't want to feel like you're holding yourself up. Really relax. The complete twist is to have your left ear to the bolster. For some of us, that might be more than you need, so you're of course welcome to do forehead or right ear. And some folks like to do more of a fetal position with the knees stacked atop one another, and that's just fine. If you're comfortable, you're correct. But this helps facilitate a twist without putting too much pressure or body weight on the spine. It kind of gives you a place to rest in the meantime. Another way to use the bolster is really classic. We use it a lot in the Shavasana, the final relaxation meditation portion of the class. You just bring the bolster under your knees and lie back. And what this will do is it will eliminate the space between the spine and the floor, and it also prevents you from hyperextending your knees and yanking on your knees. So usually there's some straps, carrying straps on either side of the bolster. So when you're ready to lie back down, you grab onto those so you can bring the bolster with you, and then you just lie back. And it's really relaxing and comfortable to rest in this way. This also takes pressure off the spine. Another way you can use the bolster is with a supported child's pose. And this is good if, for instance, you have any vestibular problems such as vertigo or Meniere's and you can't fold forward very easily, or if you have bad knees and the child's pose is unavailable to you. So there's two variations. If you need to not have your head tilted so far forward, you can come so that you're sitting on your heels, bring the bolster to the tip of your knee, and just roll your body weight down. And you can use the bolster to help stretch and get some traction and space in the spine by reaching as far forward as you can. So really pulling in opposite directions with your tailbone and your fingertips. This can be a little hard on some people's knees. It's too much of a bend. So in that case, you would come halfway up the bolster about with your knees so that when you sat back, your hips would be supported. And this takes a lot of pressure off of the knees and makes child's pose a little bit more comfortable, especially if you have limited range of motion from something like a knee replacement. And here you just give the bolster a little cuddle. You can also help to open up the shoulders by bringing your fingertips out by your heels and just resting that way. And you're pulling down with your tailbone to make sure that you're getting that length in the spine. The final way I'll show you how to use your yoga bolster today is the easiest of all. It's just sitting on the bolster. What this does is it helps to tilt the pelvis back and open the creases of your hips. So instead of trying to sit on the floor with your knees up by your armpits, it just helps fold you forward slightly. So I'll turn to the side so that you can see how this aligns your spine. When you're on the bolster, you're sort of at the edge of it. And this just sort of brings everything into center. Whereas if you had really tight hips or very poor posture, you might look a little bit more like this and it wouldn't be as comfortable. So sitting on the bolster can help support the spine as well and even train you to maintain a better posture. And it's quite a bit more comfortable on the hips. So if you've had a hip replacement or you're very tight in the hips, this yoga bolster can make a big difference. The yoga bolster might be too much and you can just roll up a blanket and achieve much the same effect, just on a different scale. So for $40, this is a pretty versatile piece of equipment. There's even more ways you can use a bolster, but I just wanted to give you a few tips, especially when you're at home and you can't make it to your practice, ways to support yourself, your body, and enjoy having a little bit of practice at home. So I hope you join me on our next video. Thanks for watching.